Hi viewers, welcome to Leaders Speak, Facebook Live series of Tata Power. Today we have with us Mr. Ganesh Srinivasan, CEO Tata Power Delhi Distribution. Welcome sir.
Good morning everybody.
Let me begin by asking you about the global and national impact of COVID-19 on the power industry.
The impact of COVID-19 has on both national as well as global economy has been quite deep. The estimates are that anywhere between 7 to 9% of our GDP will be reduced because of the impact of COVID-19. Now of course the long-term impact will be determined by how soon either a treatment protocol is identified or the medical community is able to discover a vaccine. Till that time, obviously the uncertainty has increased dramatically. As far as the power sector is concerned, the impacts are some positive but also many negative impacts obviously. Number one has been the reduction in demand. A lot of commercial and industrial establishments, not only during the lockdown but even after the unlock phase has started, the demand has yet to pick up to the last year levels, for example. Even now we are about 15% lower than what we were last June. So number one has been a reduction in demand. Second is the impact on collections. Since there is an impact on the economy, the paying capacity has reduced and this has in turn impacted the collections, and hence our ability to pay to the generators, our ability to pay to our O&M contractors, our ability to ensure that network investments for growth as well as reliability are continuously done. So that has been the second impact, and obviously probably the largest and most important impact has been the impact on health and safety for both our employees as well as the contractor employees or the BA employees that we work with. So these are some of the, I would say, the negative or not so good impacts of the COVID-19, but also there is a silver lining in all of this. Probably this may accelerate the rate at which DISCOM reform is taken up across the country. We have seen recently that the government has accelerated the privatization process for the union territories. So we believe that the COVID-19 will force the state governments as well as the central governments to fix the DISCOM finances in for the long term. Second, there is the whole work from home, which was done in pockets or as experiments, has now become mainstream, and both corporates as well as employees are much more accepting of work from home. So this will result in a lot of long-term changes for us, positive changes, lesser commute, more time with family, lesser stress. So this is something that we see as a positive benefit. And thirdly is the whole digital adoption. We see customers adopting digital payments, adopting digital modes of contacting the distribution companies giving service in a digital manner. So again, this has given a fillip to the whole digital adoption by both customers as well as DISCOMs. So as in any challenge or any situation like this, there are negative impacts, but also we would like to look at the silver lining and look at the future as to how we can leverage on these positive aspects as well.
Our audience would also like to know that how Tata Power Delhi Distribution is braving this pandemic and ensuring that electricity is provided to essential services as well as every home in North Delhi.
Right, excellent question. Actually, right from the beginning in end March, when India and Delhi particular started facing this challenge of first the lockdown and subsequently unlock period, we have been very, very conscious of our responsibility as a provider of essential service. Our role here is to power hospitals. Our role is to power homes so that people can work from home, can operate from home, is to power chemists, is to power news stations. So we take our responsibility very, very seriously. And right from the beginning, we have tried to maintain that balance of how do we balance out the health and safety of our employees on one hand, and how do we ensure that there are adequate staff to ensure 24/7 electricity. So we have done a whole host of things. Our teams have innovated, we already were in a pretty good position as far as automated operations of our whole distribution setup is concerned. So from an operations perspective, we were in a good foundations to start with, but the pandemic brought in new challenges. We have ensured that, for example, half of our staff is working for 3 days and the other half come for the other 3 days. So we have a sort of a rota system wherein people rotate, so that at any point in time, if there is a impact of infection in one team, we are able to operate with the second set of team members. Almost 70 to 75% of our teams are working from home. So those who can work from home are encouraged to work from home. The third is materials. I think this is, apart from people, the second aspect that we had to take care was materials, because since the lockdown started abruptly in a way that we had very little lead time for planning, a lot of work by our contracts team as well as operations team to ensure that adequate supplies are available, especially as we were approaching summertime. It was very important to ensure that the normal supplies of cables, transformers are available, oil, which is usually needed during summer period. So I would say that planning went on at multiple aspects: people, materials, also contingency planning. It was not that we were any different from the city. We had infections at TPDDL as well, but how we dealt with it, I'm really proud of our medical team, our HR team, our admin team, who has really helped and connected with everybody who has gotten impacted with the infection, ensured that those who needed a hospital bed got it, those who needed medical advice were given medical advice on a daily basis, their progress was tracked. So I'm very, very proud of our medical team. They have really ensured that people remain connected and they are given support and they are able to come out of that situation. So I think the journey is still on. We are still probably midway, I hope, through this journey and past the peak in Delhi at least. But a lot of learning experiences from this last 3 months of the pandemic period.
Sir, community service runs in the DNA of Tata Group companies.
Right.
What are the key CSR and volunteering initiatives taken by the company during this pandemic?
Right. I think, as you rightly said, whether it's any Tata Group company and Tata Power or Tata Power Delhi distribution, we have always prided ourselves on the fact that we put the community on an equal basis as much as we look at business, and we see the community as an integral part of our business. So just as this pandemic started, we consulted with our board, we consulted with the Tata Group, and the first priority was about how do we ensure that there is enough food for people who are migrant labor, who have lost their livelihood in the short term, because a lot of industries just abruptly shut down, and there were a lot of people who were kind of stranded in that situation. So the first step that Tata Power DDL did was to support the Delhi government in running the hunger relief camps. So we supported close to 3 lakh meals through that initiative, and that was done within the first 1 week, 10 days of the lockdown starting. So that is something that I'm very, very proud of our team, in that we were able to quickly realize that what is the priority of the city. The priority was giving or ensuring that nobody goes hungry, and that was our first priority. The second was, how do we support the quote unquote corona warriors, the medical staff, the police, the police personnel who are ensuring that the lockdown is maintained. So here with the Tata Group, I should be very thankful to the Indian Hotels and the Tata Group for generously contributing almost 4,000 meals on a daily basis, lunch and dinner, to 5 government hospitals. And this was for the medical staff as well as the patients who were there on quarantine. So right up to May 31st, till the lockdown period was on, the Tata Group and Tata Power DDL supported the government hospitals in ensuring that during this lockdown period, when the logistics was very difficult, when tying up with at this scale very quickly, and the rate of infection was really rising at that point in time. We were there to ensure that the people were able to get good food. So that was the second major initiative that we did. Apart from that, there have been a whole host of initiatives. We have supplied ventilators, testing kits. We supported Delhi police through PPE kits, sanitizers. We worked with our self-help groups to help them ramp up the supply of masks, so that we are able to supply, I think close to 4 lakh masks have been supplied by the self-help groups. We have restarted the vocational training centers, the women literacy centers. Now we are not still able to get people in a room because of the restrictions of social distancing, but that hasn't deterred our teams from evaluating other options, digital options. We have used Google Classroom, WhatsApp calls, all the tools that are available to ensure that vocational training is continued, so that those who have signed up for the vocational training, their progress continues from that. And also we have looked at the last 3 years of vocational training, those who have gone through our centers. We have taken stock of who still has employment, who doesn't, what can we do for that. So these are some of the initiatives, and I think the effort is still going on. We are still in the midst of the pandemic, and this year our leadership is very, very clear that Corona or COVID-19 is a big priority, and whatever is needed from our side in our small way, we will help City of Delhi and our customers also in that perspective.
Right, sir. So going digital is the new normal these days. Has Tata Power DDL taken any shift in the digital strategy to reach out to employees and its customers?
Yeah, I think digital is it's been a big savior actually during this whole period, and I think we look at digital in 3 buckets. The first is the operational, how do we run our operations and where digital can support operations. That is the first bucket that I can speak about. The second is how do we help our customers get our services digitally. That's the second aspect. And third is how do we help our employees and how do we connect with our employees. So we look at digital in these 3 buckets. And as far as operations is concerned, I would say that Tata Power DDL has had a long legacy of investment in automation, in digital technologies, whether it is the geographical information system, AMR, the automatic meter reading based meters, the ADMS, which is the automated distribution management system. Our whole power system control is able to monitor and control the whole power supply across our license area. We have smart meters. We have close to 2 lakh smart meters that are now deployed. So all these technologies have been deployed over the last 10-15 years, and has put Tata Power DDL in a very, very strong position to serve or to continue our operations in a digital manner. Just one example of that is that when we had this whole lockdown situation where meter readings were not allowed, or even for the safety of our own meter readers, we were not keen to send our meter readers to read the meters. But because we had AMRs, automatic meter reading devices, we had close to 2 lakh smart meters, we were able to bill our customers on an actuals basis rather than provisional for a large part of our consumption, and this saved a lot of hassle and uncertainty for our customers. So from an operations perspective, I think the whole investment in digital will continue and will probably strengthen as the time goes on. The second is the services to customers. I think we are very, very conscious that for the safety of our customers and for the seamless, frictionless interactions that they need to have with Tata Power DDL, we need to provide more and more digital tools to our customers. So during this pandemic period, we have made several new innovations like self meter reading. The customers can take their own meter reading and report it to the company, so that they don't have to be billed provisionally, they can be billed on an actuals basis. We have started what is called as missed call, reporting of no current complaints via a simple missed call. You don't have to speak to a call center. You can just give a missed call and you will get a message with your notification. So that again, that interaction has been made very simple. We have interactive bill, we have bills on WhatsApp. So digital payment, all the solutions, we have a host of wallets that are available that customers can use. So we have had a whole host of such tools by which the day-to-day interaction that the customers are having, whether it is reporting a complaint, a query that they have, a request that they have, payment that they need to make, all this can be done without speaking to anybody, without coming anywhere, from the comfort of their homes. The other, I think, something that I'm very, very proud about what our team did was connecting with our senior citizens, customers who are senior citizens. We have a very, very innovative program called Sanman, wherein which we used to run on a physical mode earlier, but now has been converted on a virtual platform, is we are able to connect with our senior citizens, because senior citizens is a very important segment for us. We need to enable them to become digitally savvy. We educate them on the precautions that they can take in this period. Also connecting with our RWAs, the resident welfare associations, the industrial welfare associations. So our effort to connect with our customers continues irrespective of whether there is a lockdown or an unlock. We will find ways to connect with our customers, to hear their voice and improve continuously based on their feedback.
So the next question pertains to safety. Safety is paramount during Corona times.
Absolutely.
What all are the key safety initiatives taken by the company for the employees, or rather our power victors who are deployed on field?
Right. I think it's a fabulous question, and as I said initially, that we have had a balance between how to optimize the health and safety of our employees and ensuring that enough staff is available for something that cannot be done from home. The power sector or the distribution sector is such that you cannot operate 100% from home. You need people on the field. You need people to operate our control centers. You need people to augment the network. That is physical work that requires people to come on site, that requires people to work with BA staff, contract labor, that requires people to at times interact with customers, whether it is with respect to a new connection, with respect to a burnt meter. So there are situations where we cannot work from home, and that is the reality of the way the distribution sector works. And especially for the people who are coming to work or coming to site, we have done several things that will reduce the risk to a large extent. Number one is we have ensured that people work in smaller groups. Not more than 5 people are allowed to come together, so that reduces to the risk to a large extent. We've given all the necessary personal protective equipment, whether it is masks, face shields, gloves, the full body PPE, full body kit which is required in case you need to go to a place which is in a containment zone. The vehicles are sanitized regularly, the offices are sanitized regularly, and I think over and above this, we have given the flexibility and the license to the employees that if they feel that anything more is required, they are free to ask, they are free to get that, and our admin teams are fully empowered to ensure that they provide that, because we can never replicate what is happening on a day-to-day basis. Things are evolving on the field, new precautions need to be taken, new guidelines come from the government. So we have ensured that people are empowered to take their own decisions. If they need to get something which they believe will make their team safer, they are fully empowered to do it. And I think one step that we took, which I think is very important, probably we should have taken it a little sooner, was restrict people who have health conditions. Anybody who has high sugar, high blood pressure, or has some history of medical condition is strongly advised not to come to work, or his bosses are advised not to call anybody with this condition to work, because I think it creates a much more complications. And with the level of talent that we have in our organization, I'm sure that we can offset some of the staffing requirements that we have because of people not coming to work. The other is, of course, people who are more than 55 years of age. Also, we have restricted people, except very few exceptions, who are asked to come to work. But otherwise, as a general guideline, those who are above 55 or those who have any medical condition are asked to work from home. So those are the main, and I think this is evolving. I think we will continue to take steps as necessary to improve the health and safety of our employees.
So the entire country participated in the PM's call of No Baje, No Minute initiative. How did the Tata Power DDL manage such a large variation in demand and ensured uninterrupted power supply to customers of North Delhi?
Yeah, I think the Now Baje 9 minute, which was on 5th April, was a very unique event, I would say, in the sector, because the bulk of the demand was already quite low on that day, and we had made some estimates, and even there were estimates at the national level as well as to what will be the scale of reduction of demand when the lights are switched off, and what will be the demand which will ramp up or come back, and what time it will take. I think it was a teamwork right from SLD, starting with State Load Dispatch Center, the transmission companies, the distribution companies and the customers, because I think such a event was quite unprecedented, and there were a lot of steps that were taken prior to this event, both technical as well as communication to the customers. On the technical side, there were a lot of scenarios that were run as to what will be the frequency, what will be the voltage, what steps need to be taken on the network side so that the frequency does not go too high when the load is switched off and does not become too low when the load comes back on, and similarly the voltage profile also remains as stable as possible. So a lot of background preparation by the entire sector, the State Load Dispatch Center, Transcos, Delhi Distribution of course were part of this, and a lot of business continuity scenarios were worked out to ensure that whatever the eventuality, it is getting addressed adequately. On the other hand, I think the equally important part was communication with the customers, giving assurance to the customers or giving confidence to the customers that they should not switch off the entire electrical load that they have, but only switch off the lights, because to that extent the load drop would be lower and the load that will come back as well will be relatively under control. So a lot of communication was done through news, media, through our own modes of communication, whether it is SMS, WhatsApp, on our website, on our app. So a whole host of communication was done to the customers to ensure that only they switch off the lights and not anything else. So of course the load drop was much higher than what we anticipated on that day, but because of the deep level of planning that was done prior to this event, it was a success. It was successfully handled, and there was no major incident and no power supply disruption anywhere in Tata Power Delhi license area. So that's something that we are very proud about, and something that we can tell our grandchildren perhaps that we saw through such an event, and it's probably unique for a power sector professional to have gone through such an event where such a sharp drop and a sharp increase in load.
Sir, our audience would also like to know that what are some of the key highlights or say key learnings of Team Tata Power DDL during the lockdown and the ongoing pandemic?
Right. I think this has been a unique learning opportunity. I think the biggest learning from an organization standpoint would be that in spite of the extreme challenges we had with respect to the pandemic, which impacted our collections, which has impacted our revenues, the ability of us as individuals and the team to bounce back and really adapt to whatever the situation. So that has been the biggest learning for me, that anything is possible if we work together and really take stock of what is the change scenario and plan accordingly and work towards that. I think the way our commercial team has really handled the situation, wherein April, May was a very, very tough period where collections were almost, I think, 50 to 60% lower than what we had billed, and June we have made a recovery, and the recovery will continue. But the whole way in which it has been handled, the challenges that have come as we have reopened the whole during the unlock period, I think that's something that is really a matter of pride for me. And the top leadership team of Tata Power Delhi has really demonstrated that agility and the adaptability to mold and change the way that we need to approach aspects which everything has changed since the pandemic has begun. And to ensure that we continue to provide 24/7 supply, to continue to provide superlative service, we need to do things differently, and we have done those things differently, and that's really been a learning experience for me, how to adapt to that situation. I think a second, a more philosophical learning, I would say, on a personal front, has been that the importance of health and being healthy. I think there's nothing nothing that is more important than health, and being close to the family and spending time with friends and family. I think that's something that is a big lesson in this whole pandemic exercise as to how much we should value those moments of being together, both with friends, family, acquaintances, employees, and how do we enjoy and celebrate those and not take stress. I think that those are two main learnings, I would say, and I think that these are lifelong learnings that have come because of this pandemic.
So in the end, I would like to wind up this interaction on a slightly personal note. I would like to ask you that how you keep yourself motivated and unwind yourself in these trying times.
I think number one, during this pandemic period, first half of the pandemic period, I was a forced bachelor. The second half of the pandemic period, fortunately, once the airline started, my wife and daughter were able to travel from Mumbai to Delhi. So that's been a big relief for me on a personal note. And as I said, nothing like being close to family. So that's the ultimate stress reliever, one can say. The other, I would say that some of my Tata Power Delhi colleagues, senior colleagues, have inspired me to take on some new hobbies. A little bit of sketching that I have started now. Not so good at it yet, but hope to get better at it as I go along, as I practice more. And third is just simple binge watching of Big Bang Theory and Netflix and Amazon Prime. So just like anybody else. And of course, I love to read. So whenever I get time, I try to read some books. But these are the 4-5 things that I do that I enjoy. And glad that live cricket is back actually. That's something that I really enjoy to see. And the test match cricket which has started. So those are some of the things that I really enjoy during my off time.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insightful interaction. Thank you for sharing your pearls of wisdom, and I believe our audience must have thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and once again I'd like to, on behalf of our entire leadership team, really thank Team Tata Power Delhi for rising up to the challenge and giving our best during this pandemic period and ensuring that we have not only given reliable supply but also improved our reliability by almost 50%. With collection perspective, we are bouncing back. So on a whole host of factors, we are getting back to business as normal, and we will be able to overcome this challenge very soon. Thank you very much.